Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and good day to each and everyone. So today's videos, we will be talking about the basic or the first method on how to have our design, okay, in here, in our subject be electrical engineering design. Okay, so last meeting or last videos that I have shown to you, okay, we summarizes the procedures that we will be taking, okay, in order for us to have this design. Okay, the first one, if I'm not mistaken, is constructing the floor plan, no, of your intended house to be designed. Okay, another one is yung zonal calculation method. Okay, from that video, this method talks about how can we have the approximate numbers of luminaires uh, to be included in one room. Okay, and another one is the VA method. Okay, so VA method is yun yung approximation of VA required or volt ampere required in one rooms. Okay, and then we also have a calculation for receptacle outlets, no, and another one is another term for receptacle outlets, if I'm not mistaken, is the general loads, no, for general used load. Okay, so yun for for convenience outlet. Then another thing is the calculation or balancing method. Okay, and another one is yung feeder calculation. Okay, then after that, feeder calculation is yung kuan na yung supply na sa isang building. Okay, or infrastructures. Okay, so yun. Okay, now so in here we will be talking about the zonal calculation. So for a zonal calculation, it means that, as I have said, we are just required to have an approximation of a number of luminaires to be required in one room. Okay, so for example, meron tayong one rooms, and then someone's required us to find out the required luminaires, no, to be included in one rooms. So gagamitin natin tong seasonal cavity method. Okay, so itong method na to is ito yung pinaka uh, precise way of calculation of a number of luminaires. Okay, so yun. So uh, okay, so we have here zonal cavity method, detailed computation. Okay, so we have here an example. We have a second floor. Okay, so ito yung mga kuan, no, step by step na kuan. Anyway, naka-discuss naman to siya dito sa baba. Okay, so ito yung step by step na calculation for zonal cavity method. So the first one here is the room identification. So meron tayong average maintained foot candles. Okay, so may mga tables din yun siya. Okay, so at the same time, we need also to find out the room dimensions. Okay, so kung ano yung weight and height, at the same time yung length ng isang room. Okay, so meron din tayong mga reflectances. Okay, yung mga reflectances is yan yung mga colors ng, kasi 'di ba, in every color of a wall. Okay, so meron tayong definite reflectances. Okay, so meron din tayong tinatawag na luminaires data. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag na luminaire types, lamp type, watts per lamp, lamps per luminaire, and lumens per lamp. Okay, so lahat yan siya nakadiscuss sa baba. So meron din tayong cavity ratio. Okay, yung cavity ratio natin, yan yung makukompute natin yun siya using the height, okay, and the weight of the room. Okay, so meron din tayong effective reflectances. Okay, so to be find out din yun siya using a table. So meron din tayong coefficient of utilization, then at the same time meron tayong maintenance factor. Now so using that all uh, data, we can actually calculate the total power to be conducted or total power to be included in one room. Okay, so yung total power na yan is i-divide natin doon sa required wattage ng gagamitin natin na lamp. Okay, so yun. So anyway, meron naman tayong mga step by step dito. So here, Okay, so we can actually perform a zonal cavity method using this step-by-step method. So the step 1 is identify the room and its recommended illumination level and foot candles. Okay, so itong picture na to is from National Electrical Code 2000, if I'm not mistaken, yung newly edited NEC or National Electrical Code na kuan tawag dito, new edition. Okay, so yun, so makikita natin siya. So ito yung table 28.2 natin, illumination level. Okay, so you can also find out this table in Philippine Electrical Code, no? So hanapin lang natin doon siya. Okay, so anyway, magbibigyan naman ako ng copy ng NEC at saka PEC, okay, or National Electrical Code at saka Philippine Electrical Code. Okay, so yun. So in here sa project na to, we have, since my example room is laundry room, no, so ang kinuha natin na example natin dito is laundry. Okay, so ang required natin na illumination of level of foot candles is 30, no, so dito yun siya. Okay, so yun, dito yun siya included sa washing, flat work, ironing, weighing, listing, and making. Okay, so yan, dito yun siya naka-include. Okay, so as you can see here, meron tayong different classification of rooms here, no? So if for example, your room is bakery, no? So ito, kung yung bakery mo is may mixing room ka, so ang required na foot candle mo is 50. Okay, kung yung bakeries mo is oven room, so yun 30. Okay, so dito ang example natin is laundry, so ang required na foot candle natin is 30. Okay, so yan. Now, since we have already identified the required foot candles, to the step 2 now is identify the room dimensions. Okay, so we have to identify the dimension of the rooms na i-calculate natin, syempre, no? So hindi naman natin pwedeng i-calculate yung required na luminaires kung hindi natin alam kung ano yung dimension ng rooms na di-designan natin ng lighting. Okay, so yun. So in this case, okay, ang laundry room natin is 150 feet squared. Okay, sa newly edition of PEC, okay, dapat ang gagamitin mo is meter squared. Okay, kasi bakit? Yung gagamitin kasi natin na VA calculation or yung mga required natin na tables to be identified, no, to be used, okay, is in meter squared, not in feet squared. Okay, so ito siya is dati ito siya na example, so kaya ang dimensions na naka-identify dito is feet squared. Okay, so yun. So step 3, identify the ceiling, floor, and wall reflectances through colors of the room. Okay, so ito, kung yung gusto mong ito siya, itong table na to is different types or different colors of wall. Okay, so for example, ang gusto mong colors ng wall mo ng laundry is white or light gray, so we have a required of reflectances of from 45 to 70 or from 80 to 85. Okay, so yun yung required na reflectance natin. So in this case, no, the color of the ceiling natin, floor and wall are all white, no, so ibig sabihin we have designed that room as white color. So ang required natin na reflectances will be saan dito, white. Ayun, so 80 to 85. Okay, so we can say that 80% na lang. Okay, so step 4, determine the luminaire and lamp data. Okay, so ito siya, nakabase ito siya sa kung ano yung gagamitin mong luminaires at kung kung ano yung gagamitin mong luminaires probably, no, kasi for example, no, ang gagamitin mo na luminaires is ito. Okay, we have 0% or kumbaga ang categories ng luminaires mo is naka-spread siya throughout the surface area of your where room. So you are required to have one lamp of 1600 lumens. Okay, so yan, naka-identify niyo siya dito. Okay, since we have 70% spread. Okay, so yun ibig sabihin yan. So in this room I use luminaire type 21, yun type 21. So meron tayong table din dito, no, Okay? Type 21, enclosed reflector with luminar dirt depreciation under category 5 which can only accommodate a one lamp. Okay? So yan yung naka-enclose siya ng luminars. Yung lamp natin is naka-enclose na using luminars. Then meron tayong 1600 lumens. Okay? So yan. Yan yung gagamitin natin. So itong by the way, itong table pala na to is makikita din natin to siya sa National Electrical Code at the same time sa Philippine Electrical Code. Okay? So kompleto yan siya doon. Okay? So yun, step 5. So step 5 naman natin is floor and wall cavity ratio. Okay? Floor and wall cavity ratio. So wall and floor cavity ratio. So find the ceiling, floor and wall cavity ratio. So in order for us to find the cavity ratio, you have to use this formula. Okay? For a rectangular room, okay? So we have this formula. We have cavity ratio is equal to 5 multiplied by height of the room times the length of the room plus the weight all over the length times weight. Okay? So yun. So for circular room naman, so we have 5 multiplied by height divided by the radius of the room. Okay, so yun. So but first, identify the height of the ceiling muna, no? Floor and wall cavity in order for us to find this or to use this formula. In this room, okay, sa example na to, sa laundry na to in which we use laundry, in this room I used 2 and 2.7 and 2.5 feet respectively because I designed a luminaire to be suspended for 2 feet. Okay, so kumbaga kung ito yung, for example, ito yung saan ba tayo pwede mag-draw? But anyway, ang tinatawag kasi na cavity ratio is yun yung kung ano yung level mong gi-design yung lamp mo, kung anong level or kung anong height from the working plane papunta sa taas. Okay, for example, yung kuan mo, yung bulb mo is ang design mo is mounted lang siya, mounted for ibig sabihin ng mounted is naka-mount lang siya sa wall, sa taas, sa floor, sa ceiling. So kung ano yung distance nung lamp na yon from working plane, so yun na yung cavity, yun yung kuan mo, yun yung length of cavity mo. Okay, so yun yung gagamitin mo dito, or yun yung effective height mo para gagamitin mo dito sa formula na to. Okay, so yun, so basahin lang natin to siya. Okay, so yun, so in this case yun, calculate na yung cavity ratio, then substitute the values. So yun, ito yung CCR natin, RCR and FCR. Okay, so CCR is ceiling cavity ratio, RCR is ceiling cavity ratio, ito siya is reflectance cavity ratio, ito siya is floor cavity ratio. Okay, so yun, different yan siya, no? Magkakaiba-iba sila. So step 6, find the ceiling and floor effective reflectances. Okay, so ito siya, may gagamitin tayong table ito. Okay, so for example, yung na-calculate mo na, okay, so ito siya, to find the ceiling effective reflectance, determine first the percent ceiling and wall reflectance. Yun yung nakuha natin sa taas. Ito yung design natin for yung design natin for kung ano man yung color na napili natin para maging color ng wall natin. Okay, so yun, gagamitin natin yun siya dito. Okay, so dito, so first okay, so yun, reflectance daw, and then in this case they are both 80%, kaya 80% kasi diba napili natin kanina is white, no? White, so 80%. Then determine the ceiling cavity ratio, ito yan siya, gagamitin din natin to siya, ceiling cavity ratio. From the table below we can find that 80% ceiling reflectance and 80% wall reflectance. So for example, no, ito yung ceiling and floor cavity ratio mo. Okay, so ito ya, percent to reflectances. So yung 'di ba yung napili natin kanina is 80, tapos 80 yung 80 rin yung kuan natin, 80 and 80 yung wall natin, so 80 then 80, tapos ang na-calculate natin dito na kuan is 1.6. Ito 1.6 yung ceiling cavity ratio natin. So kung titingnan natin dito sa table na to, 1.6 this is in between 1.6 and 1.8. So meron tayong tinatawag na ano nga yung calculation na yun? We call that one as interpolation. Okay, so interpolate natin yung dalawang data in between 1.6 and 1.8. So saka natin makukuha yung required na reflectance natin, that is in between 71 and 80. Okay, anyway, nakashow naman dito yung procedure, so understandable naman siya. Ito yung tinatawag kong interpolation. Okay, so yan. Okay, so yun. Then step 7 naman is find the coefficient of utilization. So itong step 7 naman to is meron din tayong required na table diyan. So makikita din natin yun siya sa National Electrical Code, at the same time makikita din natin yun siya sa Philippine Electrical Code. Okay? So in every to find the coefficient of utilization, first determine the floor effective reflectance. Okay? So yun, so if it is 20%, we can directly use the table 28.9, but according to this type of luminaire, here it's type 21. Okay, so yung kaya yung ginamit natin kanina dito sa finding the um, types of luminaire, no, type 21 yung ginamit natin. So kung kukunin natin yung coefficient of utilization, type 21 din yung gagamitin natin. So that is 80 and then 50, 70, 50. So yun, dito sa dalawang to. Okay, so magkakaroon naman tayo ng interpolation dyan. Okay, so yun, sorry. Okay, so ayun. Okay, so since floor effective reflectance is not 20%, at ito siya pala, no, ito siya, gagamitin natin tong table na to if and only if yung na effective reflectance natin na nakalculate natin kanina lang is 20% or below. Okay, so kung hindi, so ito na lang, dito na lang tayo. Okay, so since yung calculation natin dito is hindi siya between or hindi siya 20% or below 20%, so we have to use yung nakuha nating reflectances in which the 80%. Okay, so here, yun, dito tayo, ito yung gagamitin nating table. So 80, then 50, so in between 1.03 and 1.03. So parehas lang naman yun siya. So yun, ito yung gagamitin nating room cavity ratio, or ito yun siya. Okay, so yun. Then after we calculate the coefficient of utilization, ayun, ginamitan siya ng interpolation to find out the ROCC. Okay, so after finding the coefficient of utilization, so meron naman tayong maintenance factor. Yung maintenance factor, nakadepende naman yun siya sa kung ano yung gagamitin mong luminaire. Okay, so kung gusto mo ito siya, so ito. Okay, so meron din naman tayong formula dyan. So we have maintenance factor is equals to lamp lumen depreciation multiplied by luminaire dirt depreciation. Okay, so lahat natin to siya makukuha sa kung ano yung napili natin na category na gagamitin natin na luminaire. Okay, so yun. Okay, so another one is find the number of luminaires needed to the room. So ito yan siya. So in order for us to find the number of luminaires, we have to use this calculation method, okay, or formula. So as you can see here, lahat ng mga required quantity dito is na-calculate na natin previously, and different from the different steps, no, from step 1 to step 8. So ang gagawin lang natin dito sa step find step 9 is to substitute the value, and then after that malalaman na natin kung ano yung required natin na number of luminaires. Okay, then number 10 is find the total load of the lamp. Okay, so yan, so yun lang. Okay, so yan lang yung method natin in order to find the required wattage of lighting in a certain room.